Welcome to a play-by-play review. I'm your host Henry, and it's finally time after a couple weeks of putting it off and just having stuff come up. Finally, time to actually get a non-baseball related episode out again. This is going to be another one of those I ramble on about something that I enjoy for an undetermined amount of time. In this case, it is going to be about Bleach, not the cleaning product Bleach, the anime slash manga Bleach, made by Tite Kubo. It's really good. Short answer. I really like it. Depending on who you ask, it is. It depends on who you ask for, like the quote unquote big three of shonen anime. I like to just say big four between Bleach, Dragon Ball, Naruto, and One Piece. I think they're all on pretty similar levels, in my opinion. Um, like One Piece is longer than the rest of them, like combined at this point, probably. Actually, I don't know. I think Naruto is around like 400-ish episodes if you include Shippuden. Um, Even then, I don't remember how much. Well, I guess yeah. If you combine all four of them, or combine Naruto, Dragon Ball, and Bleach together, they probably would eclipse One Piece, though not by much in terms of episode count. If you're just talking about the anime, and even if you cut out the filler for um, a lot of stuff, it would still struggle to keep up. It would probably be shorter than One Piece. Its problem is just One Piece's pacing is so bad. Anime wise, this is anime complaint there. But anyway, I'm not talking about One Piece here. I might talk about that later with my friend Danica. She might come on at some point. If we can find time together to talk about anime, probably One Piece a good bit in there because she's a big fan of that. But this is all about Bleach. I'm mostly doing this because the trailer for the final season of Thousand Year Blood War was released like about a week ago, maybe a little bit less at this point. Very recently, pretty much, is the short answer there. It's the first actual trailer we've gotten for Core 4 for Thousand Year Blood War. So it's getting there because part 3 came out it like ended 2024, like I think October 2024 was when it came out, and now part 4 is coming out July, I believe, of this year, 2026, and it will be wrapping up the Thousand Year Blood War arc. Don't know if we're gonna get any of the like epilogue, like Echoing Jaws of Hell arc at all, but I think it's for TTYB. Or TTBY. That's the acronym. Yeah, for Blood War, it's gonna wrap up that. And yeah, so definitely gonna be spoilers for a lot of various things involving Bleach here, just because I'm gonna ramble about it. But I'm very excited. We'll see. We're gonna see obviously the fight between Ichigo and Yukabara. That should actually have a proper conclusion because I know apparently. So I only watched Bleach back in 2024, like late 2024. I started watching it like around the time part 3 of Thousand Year Blood War came out for the anime. So I'm very much late to the party on a lot of stuff there. But from what I understand is that when Kubo was writing Bleach, when he was getting to the Thousand Year Blood War arc in the manga, which was around like 2016, I want to say, like 2015, 2016, roughly. He had some health issues, and then also like Shonen Jump, the publisher, was like really pushing for him to get it finished sooner rather than later. So a lot of the stuff in Thousand Year Blood War in the manga got rushed a bunch. So the anime's trying to fix that, since I think Kubo's health issues have subsided and he's doing a lot better now. So he's had involvement and has been able to like get it around to like I think include stuff that he wanted to originally in his manga but wasn't able to. Like I know the anime had a couple custom scenes. Like I know Senjumaru's Bankai at the end of part 1 was that was anime only, but we got to see it there. And I think the like proper Ichigo versus Yukabara fight is going to be animated. We're also going to see Uryu versus Yugrum, Hashvalth, which should be fun. I think that's also one that's going to have some like anime, like custom stuff there. And then we'll have, I think it's a lot of guys, but mainly Byakuya Kikuchi and Toshiro Hitsugaya, the captains, versus Gerard Valkyrie, who's like one of the few Stern Ritter left, and then also Yoroichi and Kisuke against what is your name? I always forget your name. The Stern Ritter who's Yoroichi fights. Hang on, help me out, Bleach Wiki, because I do not remember what his name is. It is, where is it? No, a little bit further down. Askin is part of his name. Hang on. Askin, because this is a long name. Askin Naklavar, that's what it is. Who's I like him a lot. He's a very fun character. And so it's his fight between Yoroichi and Kisuke, I know it's getting animated. And that's going to be fun because a lot of people are, especially Kisuke's Bankai. Benihime that's gonna pop the internet. I know that. But yeah, that's for a couple months from now. Also, yeah, by the way, spoilers for like everything that's happening there. But yeah, I think those are like the last few fights. Other than that, don't know too much about what's going on there. But yeah, for actual Bleach itself, for my story on how I got into Bleach. So I was on a big anime binge back in like 2023, 2024, like late 2023, 2024. I watched a bunch. So I watched like in like fall, winter of 2023 to 2020, or like mostly 2023. I watched like all of My Hero up to that point, My Hero Academia, Akame Got Killed, Chainsaw Man, Spy Family, and like maybe another one or two. I think, I don't know. It's been at this point like 2.5 years. But then I also started One Piece in like early December, and I got through the entirety of pre-time skip One Piece in about a month. I'm still not sure how I did it, but I powered through that. And then it took me about half a year to get through post-time skip because I slowed down my watch pace considerably. Like I was back in college at that point. I basically spent most of my winter break watching One Piece. And then I was like, my first week back, I had gotten to Fishman Island in the post-time skip, and I slowed down considerably. The pacing in post-time skip for One Piece is terrible. I do like some of the arcs though. I really love Dressrosa. Dressrosa is awesome. Like quick side tangent to One Piece, but Dressrosa arc I really love, and Wano I like. The others, not so much. Fishman Island was really boring. Punk Hazard was all right. It was pretty good. And then whatever Zoe, that's the arc. Zoe was, it was like 15 episodes, so it was nothing really, and it was kind of in between stuff. And then I despised Whole Cake Island. I hate that arc. It's so not good in my opinion, but that is an episode for another day. Or a discussion for another episode more so. But yeah, anyway, I wrapped up One Piece in probably like late July of 2024. And then I wound up pivoting to, of all things, White Collar. I think I might have mentioned this in my crime show episode a couple weeks back, but yeah, I pivoted from One Piece to White Collar, watched all of White Collar in the span of a couple weeks. That show was awesome. I love White Collar. And then I went from that to Bleach. So very, very interesting little detour between two of the big shonen anime. But yeah, I started Bleach, I want to say around Thanksgiving actually. Or like, I want to say it was like around November, maybe a little, I don't remember exactly, but I started around the fall of 2024 and got through it very quickly. Because I was watching, like I was basically catching up on the part 3 of Thousand Year Blood War on New Year's Day. I remember that actually, because I was almost pulled an all-nighter that time, and I was basically all caught up at that point. But I powered through Bleach. I watched most of it. I didn't get all the filler. I skipped over some. I skipped over the Bount arc, which is the big early filler arc that's like 50 episodes, and everyone hates it because it's really slow, from what I heard. I might go back and watch it pretty soon. But I watched some of the other ones. Like I watched the Zanpakuto Rebellion arc, and then the Ray Guy arc as well, which those are filler arcs, but those are fun. And then there's like that one short one with like the Arankar that like invade the world of the living like early on in the Arankar stuff. That was fun. And then there's like a couple of like the beach episode, obviously you got to watch that. And yeah, so I've watched I watched most of Bleach, and obviously all the actual like canon stuff. And I really enjoyed it. I went into it, wasn't expecting much. I really didn't know much about Bleach at all, honestly. Like I knew a decent bit going into One Piece. But like outside of like going into Bleach, I think I knew like off the top of my head, I think I only knew like 3 characters. I knew Ichigo, I knew Aizen, and I knew Yoruichi. And I think that was it really. Like I'd seen various clips before of some stuff, but like none of it ever stuck to me because I had no idea what was going on. And like I had heard of the term Bankai before, but I didn't know what it was. Like I didn't know what Shikai was. I didn't know what a Zanpakuto was. I knew that they were like called Shinigami or Soul Reapers, but I didn't know what they did. Like I didn't even know who like Orihime or Uryu or Renji or even Ruki. I didn't know any of them going into this. So it was a pleasant watch to go in very much spoiler free and like not knowing really anything. I knew that Aizen was a villain. I knew that he was not a good person, pretty much. I think that's a twist that has been spoiled unto oblivion for a good while now. One of the many that is, yeah, anyway. But so I went in, and it took a little bit for me to like start to enjoy it, because I like the first arc where it's Ichigo and Rukia like in the world of the living fighting various hollows and like doing the actual job of a Soul Reaper, funnily enough, was fine. But and like there's definitely some really good parts to it. Like Ichigo and Rukia's dynamic is really fun, especially early on as they're like basically together most of the time. But it took a little bit because like the fights were whatever, and for a shonen anime the fights are what you're really coming for. And it's really once it gets to the Soul Society arc, the second one, that's when the show really hits its stride. Because in my opinion, the characters in the Soul Society, so like the captains, lieutenants, basically all the Soul Reapers, those are most of the time the best characters in the show, anime, or manga, whatever you want to call it. Because I like Ichigo's good. Like the ones you meet in the World of the Living to start out, like they're fun. Like Ichigo, Uryu, Chad, Orihime. They're good. Don't get me wrong. Like even you can count the Shinigami that are there. So like Rukia, Yoruichi, Kisuke, and like the people with who like work with Kisuke, who are just kind of there. But it's like the captains are so much more fun to watch, in my opinion, especially when they start interacting with like the core group. But like like Byakuya is really good because like he starts out as a villain. Same with Renji. Like they started as villains, but then they eventually turn back to being good guys. And like all the captains are fun. Well, most of them are. I feel like they're just honestly like off the top of my head, even with the 13 captains that we see at the start of the show, pretty much. They're all fun in their own right. Even if like 3 of them with Aizen, Gin, and Kaname, with them betraying the Soul Society and all that and dipping, it's still fun. I mean, like you get like Yamamoto's fine. He's the old guy who's running the show. But he's got his moments. Soifon is great. She's really annoying. Like if I'm being honest, like she would be really annoying to actually like work with, but she's fun to watch. Like her anytime Yoruichi gets brought up around her, it's great. Her very 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 obvious crush on Yoruichi is always fun moments there. Like other ones like Retsu's fun. She gets better. She's definitely one of the like less overall interesting captains in the original anime, since she gets a lot more characterization in Thousand Year Blood War. But even then, she's still fun enough. And then like Byaki is fun. I like going down like each squad by squad. Sajin, he's fun. Like his little like mini arc that he has in the first like Soul Society arc is fun, where like he's originally has a helmet on, or like the like basket helmet on, then he reveals it, that he reveals he's a dog. He's a big fluffy boy. I want to just give Sajin a hug, because I feel like he would be a very good hugger. Because he's a giant dog man, and his fur is probably very fluffy. But anyway, he's fun. I like him. His dynamic with Kaname Tosen, the one of the traders to the Gote 13, is really good when it gets expanded later on in the show. They've got a good dynamic together. Then Shunsui, who Squad 8 captain, he might be one of my, if not my favorite character in all of Bleach. He is so much fun. I'm always a fan of those like lackadaisical, like just kind of there for the vibes, but also very strong type of characters. And Shunsui is really strong, like one of the strongest in Bleach, in terms of his like power, and especially like his Shikai and Bankai are. I mean, his Bankai is stupid. It's just basically just the win now button. And like we only ever see it once, and it's in Thousand Year Blood War, and he doesn't actually win just because the one guy he's fighting, Lige Baro, is like actually immortal, so it doesn't really work that way, but still does basically just knocks him out of the fight, which is impressive. And his Bankai is also just beautiful to watch. That whole sequence was awesome. Though like his Shikai's really fun, where he can just like make children's games into like reality, so it's like he can like dictate the terms of the game, and it like affects the actual battle and stuff. It's really cool. I love little creative powers like that, and he's just a fun character as well. We just kind of like the first time we see him when he fights Chad, when they're when the guys are invading the Soul Society to go rescue Rukia. He's like, he just shows up to this like standoff against Chad, whose real name is Yasutora Sato, I believe, but he goes by Chad. So I'm not just saying that for the meme. It's like his actual nickname is Chad. Chad is awesome, by the way. He's another one of my favorites. Just for Chad, he should have had more wins. He's got too much potential to constantly take the L. But anyway, like Chad showing up against Shunsui, he's just kind of like, he's like, hey, I'm Shunsui. I'm the captain of Squad 8. You probably don't want to fight me. And then it's like there's like cherry blossom petals falling all around, or like rose petals falling around him, and it's just revealed that it's Nanao above him, just dropping them with a basket, and she just does not care. Their dynamic is so much fun, where it's the straight man and comedy in like whimsical one, pretty much. Like Shunsui is the little airheaded, a little just kind of out there, like going with the flow vibes kind of guy. He just doesn't really care. And then Nanao is the uptight one. She's like the one who actually runs everything in his squad. He just is there just drinking sake 24/7. It's great. Shunsui is just really fun. And his character development in Thousand Year Blood War is also really good. And like the history with him and Nanao, and also Jushiro and all that. It's great. It's great. I love Shunsui. Where am I? I'm at Squad 8. Squad 9 was Kaname. Squad 10 is, I was say Kenpachi, but he's Squad 11. Squad 10 is Toshiro, and he's great. All Squad 10 is great. I mean, it was formerly Ichigo's dad's squad. Ishin Kurosaki, well, actually formerly known as Ishin Shiba, back when he was in the Soul Society. It's like, of course, Squad 10 was Ichigo's dad's squad. Like they are the Goofy Goober squad, because Toshiro is potential man, but like actually potential man. Like everyone is like, yeah, Toshiro, I mean, he's young for a captain, and he's still a little inexperienced, but he's got so much potential that he can eventually be the strongest of us all. And I think it's like he's gonna get aged up somehow in part 4 of Thousand Year Blood War and gonna get like a power boost there. But yeah, Toshiro is fun. I mean, it's like all the jokes during like, even if in filler episodes and just like random ones about him being, looking like a child, is always fun. And then Rangiku she's Rangiku. If you know anything, I mean, she's got large assets, but she's actually a good character. I will say she's a fun character, and her relationship with Gin is good. When it gets expanded on late in the show. And like her dynamic with Toshiro is great. And it's like when the two of them and then Ikaku and Yumichika and then Renji also show up at like Ichigo's house during like after everything goes down, and it's like the start of the Iran-Car arc and whatnot, like during some of the filler as well, where they're just chilling in the world of living. It's so good. I just love the fact that Toshiro and Rangiku are just down to chill in Ichigo's house, and it's like just the fact that it also happens to be the house of their former captain too. I think that's probably part of it. I wish we actually got some interactions between those few, but it's like, I guess because we didn't know at the time, like during that point, that like it wasn't revealed yet that Ishin was their former captain, but it would have been cool to see Ishin chat up with Toshiro and Rangiku. But oh well, maybe another time. And there's always fan fiction for that. But then Squad 11, you get Kenpachi. He's also one of my favorites. Kenny is so much fun. He's a very simple character. He just loves to fight, and he is absurdly strong. Like arguably the strongest character in the show. He just has been nerfed by the Soul Society because they don't want him to be too strong because then they couldn't stop him, which I think is a great dynamic. And I'll get to the point about that in a moment. But yeah, Kenny's great. Yachiru's a great like dynamic for him, like giant man, tiny girl. It's that dynamic always works. And like Yachiru being, it's the same with Nanao, or well, it's supposed to be the same with Nanao and Shunsui, where it's like she's the brains, he's the brawn, or like she's the brains, he's the vibes, essentially, more so for Shunsui. And like Yachiru's like, it's supposed to be like, she's the brains, he's the brawn and whatnot, but Yachiru, like, they share one brain cell between those two, Kenny and Yachiru, for a reason. Slight spoiler, since Yachiru is actually Kenny's Bankai, sort of. It's a little weird. But like Yachiru being, she's supposed to be it feels like when you initially see her, she's supposed to be like the brains to his brawn, but she does not have a thought behind those eyes 90% of the time. And it's so good because they like when Kenny's trying to chase down Ichigo during the Soul Society arc and Yachiru's giving him directions and it's just all the wrong directions. It's so good. And like that's legitimately one of my favorite moments with the Orihime. Like one of my favorite parts for Orihime's character is when she's like quote unquote captured by the Soul Society, but then she just kind of like joins up with like all of them, and like they're just kind of like, oh, Orihime is just kind of chill, where like she's not our enemy. And like Yachiru, who always like is piggybacking on Kenny, he's like winds up having Orihime join up with with her on Kenny's back, and like they're both giving directions. It's so funny, and the Bleach's humor is legitimately great, and I was not expecting it. I was not expecting to laugh as much as I did when watching the show. I just found it really fun at times, and there's a lot of characters to it. To go into Squad 12, another guy who provides a lot of more dark laughs in Mayuri, Mayuri Kurotsuchi, who is just an absolutely terrible person. Like he is like legitimately an awful guy, but he's working for the good guys. And he's like just the craziest person ever, the absolute mad scientist. And he is someone, that's for sure. And he's great in the sense that he is just a whack job. And then Squad 13 is Jushiro, and he's so sweet. I want to just sit down and have a nice long conversation with Jushiro about like just nice things, because he's such a good vibe to him. Ignore the eldritch being residing inside of him. We don't need to pay attention to that right now. He's just a soft bean, in the sense. I don't know, to use like Tumblr language or whatever. I don't know where that came from, but Jushiro is great. Then like not Yoruichi. I'm just looking at Yoruichi's bio on Bleach Wiki at the moment. But Rukia being in Squad 13, and she eventually becomes a captain there. It's cool. But yeah, I love the fact that like even when we first meet the Gote 13, like the captains that they have, like most of them are terrible people, if I'm being honest. And it's like it's kind of precedent for them because like when the Gote 13 was initially just established by Yamamoto back 1,000 years ago, during the first Quincy War, when this gets expanded on during Thousand Year Blood War, like all the original Gote 13 captains were like serial killers, pretty much, like all terrible people. And it's just like the Seirete is like forming together like the worst people imaginable to go fight Yuhobaha and his army, because like it's like what better to counter an army of killers with an army of killers, pretty much, or more a squad of killers. But like even 1,000 years later, like you go through the captains when you first meet them. It's Yamamoto has killed a ton of people in the past. Like he's better now, but he still has a massive body count to him. Soifone is not a good person. She's an assassin as well, pretty much. So she's not exactly a ray of sunshine. Squad 3 is Gin, and Gin is, I mean, he betrays the Soul Society, though. He's actually a double agent there, so he's the least bad of the three who betray the Soul Society. Squad 4 is Retsu. She is also has a massive body count to her back in the day, because she was a part of that original Gote 13 lineup back when she was Yachiru in Ohana. She was a massive serial killer as well. She probably more bodies than Yamamoto had back in the day. Like, don't let Retsu's visage fool you. She is she is not afraid to stack a few if it comes down to things. Yeah, ooh, man. Squad 5 is that's Aizen, and he is the villain for most of Bleach. Like, he is the big bad before he gets usurped by Yuhobaha later on. But yeah, Aizen's not a good guy either. Squad 6 is Byakuya. I mean, he's morally gray, I'd say. He's more like willing to execute his sister at the orders of Central 46, even though it was actually Aizen in disguise. But overall, he's the least bad of all the ones that I've named so far in terms of like, maybe Soifon, but yeah, he's fine. He's morally gray, I'd say. Squad 7 is Sajin. He's fine. He's cool. I wouldn't say he's all that morally bad either. Like, doesn't have too much going against him. Squad 8 is Shunsui. He's also not too much going against him either. Squad 9 is Kaname. He also betrays the Soul Society, so he's kind of evil there. Squad 10 is Toshiro. He's fine. He's a little prickly sometimes, but he's fine. Squad 11 is Kenpachi, also someone with a massive body count, like a lot. Just he killed a ton of people in the past. Mayuri is he might be the worst of them all. Like, in terms of just sheer evil, on par with Aizen. That what Mayuri's done. And then Squad 13 is Jushiro, and again, ignore the eldritch being residing inside of him. Otherwise, he's fine. So you got like maybe like 4 of the 13 squad captains that we first meet are like actual like decent people, pretty much, which is kind of funny. The lieutenants are more fine, and that's why, like, one of the many reasons why I like the Soul Society characters the best is because like there's just such a dynamic to them, and they're like so diverse and like fun to watch, because like you can basically just pan the camera to anywhere in the Seirete, and there's going to be some kind of silliness going on, because it's like, even though all these, like, I just listen to all the bad things that these guys have done, a lot of the times when you see them, they're just kind of goofing off. Like, Mayuri is doing some kind of probably less than legal experiment, but getting chastised by Nemu or someone else. Yamamoto is just kind of being grumpy. Retsu's giving everyone the death stare when she can. Isane is there as well. She's a Retsu's lieutenant. She's actually one of my favorite characters as well. She is so pretty, and very sweet as well. She is super sweet. I love Isane. Anyway, but yeah, she had, like, they're just fun together. Why she was one of the ones who was trying to fight Ichigo after he unlocked his Bankai at the Sogyoku was really funny, because like it's her, Marechio Omaida, and then I always forget. He's the lieutenant for Squad 1. Hang on. It's like Sasakibe. I just forget his first name. Hang on. I'm spelling that wrong. Because he's the guy that dies at the start of 1,000 Year Blood War. What's his first name? It's like Chojiro or something. Hang on one moment. What is your name? It is nope. Yeah, it is Chojiro. Okay, yeah, thought it was. Yeah, Chojiro Sasakibe. He was like him. I get trying to fight Ichigo at that one point, but like Isane and Marechio, like they are not going to do anything to Ichigo. I mean, Chojiro doesn't either. Like they get their butts kicked very quickly. But yeah, anyway, it's and I kind of lost my train of thought, but it's like Soul Society. It's just fun. Like all the filler that happens there, with the Zanpakuto Rebellion and the Reigai arc, those are fun. And it's just like the characters are just enjoyable to watch. Like I'm someone who likes watching characters more so than action in shonen, which is not like something you like, or it's more like you're supposed to go into shonen for the battles, but like I love characters. I love watching characters interact with each other even outside of battle. That's why I like Bleach has a very wide cast of characters that are fun. Like they're just enjoyable to watch interact, and that's what scratches my itch essentially. And it's not just the Soul Society or the World of Living either. I mean, you got the Hueco Mundo and the Hollows and all that. So you got all the Arankar and the Espada, and they're all right. Not as enjoyable. I mean, there's just because you don't see him as much. I mean, you only have the 10 Espada. Like Dream Jiao's cool. Like he's a great rival for Ichigo. And then like Ulquiorra is also a good rival as well for Ichigo, and his dynamic with Orihime is good. And then the rest of the Arankar are like, you see them occasionally, not too many that are like super interesting. I mean, like Baragon's cool because like his look is cool and like his powers are cool, and his fight with Soifon and Hachin is great. But and like same with like Coyote Stark, his fight with Shunsui is great, but they're a bit more shallow because we just don't see that like as much like character depth and dynamics with them. But it's whatever, they're just villains, but they're more like just a group of villains, so it is what it is. But they're still fun, and like you still even get some other fun characters like Nell and her little group of Hollows. They're fun, like a fun little addition to Ichigo's group. Like I forget which one it is. Let me see if I can look it up. But the one Hollow that like pairs up with Uryu when he's fighting the triple digit Arankar is, and like the guy who's like an absolute moron and like just constantly forgets everything. Is it not Don Chaka, that's the other one. Is it Pesce? Yeah, Pesce, Guatiche. Yeah. So, and he's so funny because he's like constantly forgetting everything Uryu says. Like initially he's like, Uryu's just arguing with him. He's like, I know you're Ichigo. It's like, no, I'm Uryu. No, but wait, you said you were Ishida. No, I'm Uryu Ishida. And it's like, just them going back and forth is really funny. And again, just more humor that I was not expecting. And like just anytime Uryu, who's like always the straight man in the comedy duo, because he's always the serious one, like pairing him up with a moron or just like anyone who's like just not serious at all is great. I mean, like Ichigo, who's like, he's can be serious, but he's also, he's Ichigo. He's a bit of a doofus sometime. And like him and Uryu are always great together. So it's just fun. Like it's a classic dynamic in like any, like, comedy or really just anything in general. And they're just fun, together. But let's see, what else can I talk about? Oh yeah, I can talk about Bankais probably, because Bankais are really cool. I do like I love the power system in Bleach. Because it's simple. It's not like it's not overly complex, because like it's everyone has spiritual pressure. It's the main like energy source essentially, and it's like you have the more spiritual pressure or more spiritual energy you have, pretty much. They say spiritual pressure a lot. But I think it's like Ryoku or like Reikyoku or something, whatever like Japanese term is. But I watch the dub, so I'm a filthy dub watcher, so that's why I'm going to use all the dub terms. But it's like, the more spirit energy you have, the stronger you are. Like the more you can do with it as well. So, you can use Keto, which is like the magic essentially, like, or your magic attack. So you have like different like energy blasts and stuff, and like a bunch of different spells pretty much. Like Rukia likes to use Keto a lot, and just like spam the one like energy ball shot that he does. It's like Hado number 3, Sokatsui. She just use that like all the time. I do find it funny how much people just spam attacks. Like Ichigo, after he learns Bankai, is basically just his entire fighting style is just spamming Getsuga Tensho over and over and over again. Like he just does nothing else anytime he fights. Even when he gets a new Zanpakuto in Thousand Year Blood War, when he gets his like true Zanpakuto and he gets a whole 2 swords instead of 1, it's like, is he gonna get a new fighting style? Nope, he's just gonna use a different version of Getsuga Tensho, this time with twice the power, because he does a cool like cross slash thing. Granted, the cross slash that he does with his new Getsuga, what is the name of his new Zanpakuto? I actually don't remember. Or it might be like Zangetsu, like the true Zangetsu. But it's like him just using like Getsuga Tensho and just using it, basically just doubling up on it for his new, like, with his new powers. It's just really funny to me because he just has one attack and it just works really well. So he just never he's the guy that just spams the same fight or the same move in a fighting game because it's broken. And it's really funny. Yeah, okay, it is just Zangetsu. Because it's Getsuga Jujisho is the new name for it, but it's just Getsuga Tensho, but like using it twice. It's really funny. He's just like, it's a sword strike, but it's like really strong and has some range to it. Like I'm making fun of this, but Getsuga Tensho is really fun to watch. Like it's got some actual hype moments to it. Like like the first time he does it, obviously against Byakuya when he first learns Bankai is cool. The best one though is when he gets his soul Reaper powers back during the Fullbringer arc, which is one that I've not talked about at all, but it's the final arc of the original anime run that a lot of people didn't like because it was kind of it's okay, and it's very different from the rest of the show. It's a lot more subdued and a bit more psychological, and I do like parts of it, like the villain Tsukishima. He's great. As like the main villain of it, kind of. I mean, there's also Ginjo, who's the like twist villain there, but like when Ichigo's fighting Ginjo and Rukia gives him his Soul Reaper powers back, and it's like a lot of the arc is like spent hyping up the Fullbringers a little bit, but also showing like how they're a bit more, they might not be as strong as you expect, and it's like they have to be a bit more crafty in how they go about things. And so it's like when Ichigo finally gets his powers back, and then also like with when Byakuya and I think Toshiro also shows up, like when the other captains show up to help Ichigo against Tsukishima and Ginjo, and it's like you see, it's like, oh yeah, no, the power difference between these guys is immense, and like Ichigo getting Zangetsu back and using a Getsuga Tensho. Or actually, no, he wouldn't. He doesn't use the Getsuga Tensho first against Ginjo, and it's like still like almost kills Ginjo. Like he has to dodge out of the way because it would kill him otherwise. And then Ichigo's just like casually is like, yeah, that wasn't a Getsuga Tensho. That was just like a normal strike. And Ginjo's just like his eyes goes wide, and he's like, oh crap, that's not good. Like bro realized he was out of his depth. And there's a reason why Ichigo was as strong. Like there's a reason why Ichigo beat Aizen. And then it's like when Ichigo actually does use his Getsuga Tensho and just slices the mansion in half. And like barely misses Ginjo, but still basically just knocks him out of the fight. It's great. Honestly, that like the Fullbringer arc, it takes a little bit to get going, but like the back like third of it is really good. Like with all the psychological stuff with Tsukishima. And then the fights as well, like the Tsukishima versus Byakuya fight is good, but then the you can't really call it a fight, but Kenpachi versus whoever the other Fullbringer that I can't remember his name was, but when he was fighting Kenpachi, and Kenny just shows up, and the guy like bulks up. He's like massive, like one of the biggest guys out there. He's like the size of like the Hulk, and he's like hyping himself up because I don't remember what his full burger powers was, but he's just boasting in front of Kenpachi, and Kenny just smiling at him. He's like, "Yeah, I got to fight," and then he just does one slash, slices him in half, and just kills him out right there. And he's like, "Oh well, yeah, that's Kenpachi for you." he's a little too strong. And yeah, like honestly, anytime Kenny fights is fun. Cause like his fight with Ichigo in the Soul Society arc is great. Cause like one of the first true fights in that arc. And it's like, one of the first true fights Ichigo has against like another Soul Reaper or like anyone that isn't a Hollow. And so it's like, it starts their rivalry, and they're just really fun to watch, together. And that fight was good. But then my favorite fight of Kenny's though is in Thousand Year Blood War against Gremmy, the Stern Ritter, who has the like broken power of being able to imagine anything he wants into reality. So he can just like like the fact that he can just imagine himself winning a fight is like theoretically the most broken power in all of Bleach, and that's saying something. When there's like like Shunsui's Bankai or Yuhubaha's power or Ichibei's Bankai. Like in theory, Gremmy is unbeatable because he can just imagine himself. Like he's limited only by his mind, but then Kenpachi shows up and Kenny's just like gives a middle finger to his rules because he just keeps winning pretty much. It's great because he's like, Grammy's like, I'm gonna throw a meteor at you because that'll certainly kill him. Kenny just slices through the meteor. I'm gonna put him into the vacuum of space. Kenny just exists in the vacuum of space. I'm gonna shoot, and like he's breaks out a wall of like machine guns, like he's freaking Gilgamesh from Fate Grand Order, and Kenny just like blocks all of them. So he's just like, it gets to the point that Kenny is just too strong, and he like Gremmy legitimately can't imagine a scenario where he wins against Kenpachi because Kenpachi is like, he's turned himself into a monster in Gremmy's own mind. It's perfect. That fight is so good, and it's like such a good way to counter that type of power is like putting up the guy who is just a pure fountain of strength, and to like just make him out to be the boogeyman that like he's the slasher villain that can't be stopped. It's so good. There's a lot of really good fights in Thousand Year Blood War, and like especially early on, like the random fight at the start of Thousand Year Blood War between Ichigo and the one like Arankar that Yuhubaha recruits to like try and steal Ichigo's Bankai, that in like the second or third episode of the show, like that fight is just absurdly well animated, and I have no idea why. For this like, I think he's named, but he's basically just like a Rankar that shows up in like 2 episodes, and he's like nothing compared to the Stern Ritter. Like Yuhubaha just like blows his head off for failing him because he's evil and all that, but it's like the fight is just like so absurdly well animated. I was blown away. Like, not that the original Bleach's run was poorly animated, but I mean it was early mid 2000s animation, so it's going from that to like 2020s. There's obviously a clear difference and whatnot, but like they went all out for that fight. It's the first fight that Ichigo has since coming back, so it makes sense. But it was really cool, and honestly, like Thousand Year Blood War, it slows down a little too much for my liking in the middle. It gets a little too congested, I feel like, at times, where there's a bit too much going on and like not enough progression, where there's a bit too many fights, and like some of the like plot developments are just kind of could be done a bit better. But like the opening to it, opening like basically from the start of it through like the initial fight or like the initial invasion of the Seirete. So like up through Yamamoto's death and Ichigo losing his Zanpakuto originally, because it wasn't his actual Zanpakuto, it was his Quincy powers, because that's why it's Yuhubaha, why his form is always seen in Ichigo's mind as Old Man Zangetsu. Then like everything that happens up through that is just awesome. Like the pacing is fast and like enjoyable. The fights are brutal and good as well. Like Ichigo's fight against Quilge, OP, I think is his like full name. The Stern Ritter J, the jailer, where like when he fights him in in Hueco Mundo. That fight is really good. And then all the fights in the Soul Society where it's like the Soul Reapers are just getting their butts kicked. Outside of Kenpachi, who's just like, he's the one guy because he, like, everyone else is kind of like, they just kind of spam their Bankais, like especially Toshiro loves to spam his Bankai, and also, well, especially Byakuya, dude just loves to spam his Bankai, and it's like the fact that they almost immediately figure out that the Stern Ritters have a device that can steal Bankai, and that they still use it and get it stolen anyway, is a little funny. But then it's like Kenpachi, who don't need no Bankai. He's just strong enough anyway. Just casually kills 3 Stern Raiders, and he shows up to Yubaha, and he's like, "Hey, I found these guys. Are they yours? They didn't put up much of a fight." And like Yubaha's looking at him, and he's like, "Are you kidding me right now, man? Come on." It's really funny because it's like, yeah, of course Kenny would do that. He's just too strong. But then like, the Bankai we see there, like Yamamoto's Bankai is like, his reveal is awesome, and like the only reason he loses is because Yuhobaha has the body double ruse pulled over him. Then Yuhobaha also being really strong as well. It's cool. It's just fun all around. I love it. It's fun. And yeah, let's see what else is there. Because I think I've covered most of like the major arcs. I mean, the Arrancar arc, which is like 5 arcs in one. Because it's like most, like, basically everything after this the Soul Society arc from there to defeating Aizen, which is like towards the end of the show, it's like technically all in one overarching story, because it's like involves going to Hueco Mundo, then like the False Karakura Town and all that, and whatnot. There's just like 3 different major filler arcs in between, maybe 4, so that's why like it takes forever. But it's like, there's fun stuff. I think that's kind of the like one of the weaker parts of Bleach, because there's a lot of like, it takes the pacing slows a lot here and there, but yeah, it's just it's still overall very fun, and I'm really looking forward to what we see next. Honestly, I feel like I've said enough. I'm not sponsored by Bleach or anything like that. I just really like the show. I would love to be sponsored by like Shonen Jump or something to, give me money, Shonen Jump. I will talk good about Bleach. I will sell out for the dollar if you let me rave about a show that I like. If you give me all the money and give me some. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, this is dumb bit going on. I'm just rambling now, but yeah, I like Bleach. It's fun. I might talk more with my friend Danica about other anime later, because I know she has not seen Bleach actually. But that will be for a later time. For now, though, I'm just looking at it. I forgot about the Vizards, the Job Squad. I completely forgot they existed. I think I mentioned Hachin once, but like outside of that, it's like their whole squad, like half of them being former squad captains, and then like none of them able to get any wins. They are the prime Job Squad. Like outside of Shinji getting like an occasional victory, it's like Kensei has like 4 different losses in the show. Poor Kensei, man, he just cannot catch a break. But like Rojiro, like Kensei and Rojiro dying in Thunder Blood War, and then getting they do get resurrected by as zombies by Giselle, but it's like, damn, they just could not catch a break. And obviously they also got humbled by Aizen and his master plans and all that to make him hollows and stuff. But yeah, they were fun, but I didn't care for them too much. Shinji's cool, and also Hachin, they're cool, but like outside of that, I didn't care for them too much. But yeah, that I think they're like the one group that I didn't mention too much. Were the Vizards, but so I gotta at least shout out them. But yeah, that somehow I've almost made it 50 minutes talking about Bleach here. I have no idea how. So I'll stop here, I think. Go watch it. I've spoiled like a lot of it for you already, but go watch it because I think it's fun. It's again a lot funnier than I was expecting. And I was not expecting it to be as comedic as it was. And I was pleasantly surprised though with how funny it was at times. And I hope we still get some funny moments in part 4 of Thousand Year Blood War. Since it's mostly going to be the final fights for that arc, but I'm sure there's still going to be some fun moments here and there. But yeah, that is probably gonna do it. All right, just one final funny thing because it popped in my head when I was talking about Bankai and also Byakuya earlier. I was watching like a video, it was like badly summarizing the plot of Bleach in like 9 minutes or something. I forget exactly what it was, but it was like an animated one. But when it was talking about like Bankai and like going over Bankai, he was like he showed Byakuya with his like doing Senbon Zakura and all that, but he like rotoscoped Byakuya doing the Orange Justice or the Orange Justice dance from Fortnite, and it was so funny. I was cackling when I saw that because Byakuya is just spams that move all the time. And it's like one of my favorite bits is when the Zanpakuto spirits show up during the Zanpakuto Rebellion arc, during that filler arc. Senbon Zakura is a being a Bankai spammer as well, like just constantly resorts to using Senbon Zakura Kageyoshi. It's so funny. And it's like, especially for a guy who was like really serious and really mellow all the time in Byakuya, for him to just be like the Bankai spammer is really funny. Like immediately resorts to his strongest attack all the time. I mean, he was a hothead back in the day. Like the flashbacks in the past, seeing that Byakuya was actually a lot like Ichigo and that he was kind of a hot-headed delinquent way back in the day. It's kind of funny seeing that like where he is now compared to what he was before. But yeah, just again, more of the fun with the characters in Bleach. But yeah. Now it will actually, I'm going to end this off here. So yeah, episodes coming up next week will be more baseball on Tuesday and then something else on Saturday. Who knows what it's going to be? I will have to figure it out. Might be some anime with Danica. Might not. We'll see. Depends on her schedule pretty much and my schedule as well. Otherwise, I don't know. It'll be something else. I might do something on the NFL draft because I should have done that like a month ago. But I might do a little thing on the NFL draft to highlight some teams there. But yeah, that will do it for this one. Thank you very much for listening.